The ocean, 71% of Earth's surface, home to 94% of all life on the planet. Utterly, completely, absolutely terrifying. Meet Grunt. Grunt lives on land. Land is good. Land has berries. Land has caves. Land you can walk away from if something tries to eat you. But one day, Grunt walked too far east, and he found the ocean. He stared at it for about 20 minutes without moving. Here's Grunt's problem. He can see the ocean end somewhere, but he can't see where. And in the ancient human mind, I can see something but I can't reach it means one thing: dangerous. The horizon looked exactly like the edge of the world, because how would you know it wasn't? For thousands of years, many ancient cultures believed the ocean was simply where the world stopped. Flat Earth, edge of existence. Sail too far and you fall off. This is easy to mock from the future. But remember, from the shore, the ocean genuinely does look like it falls off the edge. Ships disappear hull first over the horizon. What would you think was happening? Theory number 2, the ocean is full of monsters. And here's the thing, the ocean is full of monsters. Giant squid, whale sharks, great white sharks, oarfish 15 meters long, anglerfish with bioluminescent lures growing from their foreheads. Ancient sailors weren't making this up. They were describing real animals through the framework of people who had never seen a real animal that large. Theory 3. A god owns the ocean, and he is not happy about visitors. Almost every ancient civilization with any coast at all invented a sea deity within approximately 10 minutes of seeing the ocean for the first time. The Greeks had Poseidon, Romans had Neptune, Mesopotamians had Tiamat, Polynesians had Tangaroa, the Yoruba had Olokun. The ocean is so terrifying, it independently generated religious systems on every continent. Here's the thing. You don't need monsters or gods for the ocean to kill you. The ocean will kill you for free, for nothing, with zero effort. You just fall in. That's it. No monster required. The water does the entire job. Drowning, hypothermia, currents, riptides, waves. The ocean has more ways to kill you than most things ancient humans had ever encountered. And drowning, which we'll cover more in episode 24, is terrifying precisely because it's quiet. Ancient people watching someone drown from the shore saw them simply disappear. No sound, no signal. The ocean reached up, and it took them, and it gave nothing back. You can understand why they thought the ocean was actively malicious. And then there's storms. A storm at sea is not like a storm on land. On land, you find shelter. At sea, there is no shelter. There is just you, a piece of wood, and water in every direction that would very much like to be on top of you. Ancient sailors reported storms that lasted days. Days of waves the height of buildings. Days of lightning strikes. Days of complete sensory chaos. And then there's sharks. Ancient sailors absolutely encountered sharks. Great white sharks, tiger sharks, bull sharks. Ancient mariners had accounts of great fish circling their vessels and attacking. The Greeks had a word, karkarias, for this type of creature. The Romans inherited it. The shark has been keeping humans away from the ocean since long before Jaws made it everyone's problem. And rogue waves. For centuries, scientists thought sailors were exaggerating. 90-foot waves appearing from nowhere on otherwise calm seas? Ridiculous. Then we got satellite imaging. Rogue waves are completely real. They appear without warning. They have no predictable pattern. Ancient sailors who encountered them simply vanished, and no one who survived could explain what happened because there's nothing to explain. A mountain of water appeared. Then they were gone. The Bible gave the ocean a monster of its own, Leviathan. The book of Job describes it in extraordinary detail. Fire-breathing, armored, so powerful that God alone could defeat it. Ancient Hebrew theology essentially said, the ocean is so dangerous that God himself had to fight the ocean on your behalf, and even he found it challenging. The ocean was not just a place, it was a theological battlefield. Norse mythology gave the ocean the Kraken, a creature so large that sailors often mistook it for an island, landed on it, and then had a very bad afternoon when it dove. The Kraken is almost certainly based on real encounters with giant squid, which can reach 12 meters, seen from wooden boats at the surface. Giant tentacled thing translated through oral tradition becomes Island-sized, island-impersonating tentacle monster. Greek mythology gave us Scylla and Charybdis, a multi-headed monster on one side of a narrow strait and a massive whirlpool on the other. Odysseus had to choose. This is almost certainly based on the Strait of Messina, between Sicily and mainland Italy, which has both dangerous rocks and a genuine whirlpool. The ancients didn't invent monsters, they made real dangers bigger, which honestly is just effective communication. For the Greeks, none of this was random. Poseidon controlled all of it. Storms, Poseidon. Calm seas, Poseidon in a good mood. Your ship disappearing? You forgot to sacrifice something. The genius of the Poseidon framework was that it gave sailors an action item. The ocean isn't just chaos, it's managed chaos. And you can negotiate with management. Probably, maybe don't start with the goat thing. The response to ocean terror was appeasement. Before any voyage, you appease the sea god. Offerings were thrown in, food, wine, valuable objects, sometimes animals. The shaman performed rituals at the water's edge. Specific prayers were said. Specific words were forbidden. The word rabbit was considered bad luck on many ancient vessels because reasons. If you died at sea, you hadn't prayed hard enough, which was very reassuring to no one. The first people to really get professional about ocean travel were the Phoenicians. Around 1200 BC, they turned ocean terror into ocean business. They developed superior ships. They learned navigation from stars. They established trade routes across the entire Mediterranean and then kept going. There is evidence they circumnavigated Africa in 600 BC, which means they were rounding the Cape of Good Hope, while most of Europe was still afraid to leave the coast. But for the most extraordinary ocean achievement in history, you need to find the Polynesians. These seafarers crossed the Pacific Ocean, the largest ocean on Earth, in outrigger canoes, with no compass, no map, no GPS. They read wave patterns with their bodies, navigated by stars they had memorized across generations, tracked ocean swells to identify land hundreds of miles away. They settled Hawaii, Easter Island, and New Zealand. In canoes, the ocean didn't terrify them. They terrified the ocean. Then there were the Vikings. The Vikings solved the ocean problem by deciding to disagree with it. Their longships were engineered masterpieces for the time, shallow enough to beach on any shore, flexible enough to bend with waves without breaking. They crossed the North Atlantic and reached North America 500 years before Columbus. Their solution to ocean terror? They didn't feel it. Or they did and they went anyway, which is arguably braver. Here's the update. The ocean is still terrifying. We have mapped the surface of Mars in higher resolution than the floor of Earth's own oceans. As of now, approximately 80% of the ocean floor remains unmapped. The Mariana Trench, deepest point on Earth, was first reached by humans in 1960. We have returned fewer times than humans have walked on the moon. The monsters ancient people drew on their maps? Some of them exist. The giant squid, Architeuthis ducks, up to 13 meters long, eyes the size of dinner plates, the largest eyes in the animal kingdom. For centuries, scientists thought sailors were inventing it. Then in 2004, Japanese researchers photographed a live giant squid in its natural habitat for the first time. It is 2004, and this animal had never been photographed alive before. The ancients were right. There are monsters. So here's where we are. The ocean terrified our ancestors for reasons that were completely valid. They were right that it was deadly. They were right that enormous creatures lived in it. They were wrong about the edge of the world thing, but that's a small error given the data they had. What they got most wrong was thinking they could understand it fully. We have not. We're still working on it. Grunt never entered the water. That was probably smart. You, floating on an inflatable ring with a cocktail, are benefiting from 10,000 years of accumulated knowledge about how to not die in the ocean. Also, a shark has been circling you for the last 3 minutes. You're probably fine. Probably. The ocean still has opinions about visitors. It just expresses them less often now. Subscribe. It might be important. You never know.